You're getting the best new Texas country and red dirt music.
Uvalde Radio, redefining radio in Uvalde, Texas.
We spent too many TikToks working the time clock, dead on our feet. Too many nights going to bed, just going to sleep. Ending the days like they begun, never dancing to the beat of the drum, leaving me begging the questions I'm asking you now. Do you want to go to Lukenbach, or Wailing and Willie, feeling no pain, or go walking up dry Walker Road, make a little loving in the summer rain, take another trip to Arizona, watching the sunrise over the mountaintop. When you're in love, it doesn't take a lot, like you was going back to Lukenbach. We've seen tropical beaches full of beautiful people working on tents, but people on top of other people are a traffic jam, taking those selfies, waiting in line, telling their friends this is the life. I hope they never discover where we're going now. Do you want to go to Lukenbach, or Wailing and Willie, or feeling no pain, or go walking up dry Walker Road, make a little loving in the summer rain, take another trip to Arizona, watching the sunrise over the mountaintop. When you're in love, it doesn't take a lot, like you was going back to Lukenbach, where the complicated tears and the fabricated fears drift away. Forget about yesterday. Come on, baby, let me take you away. Do you want to go to Lukenbach, or Wailing and Willie, or feeling no pain, or go walking up dry Walker Road, make a little loving in the summer rain, take another trip to Arizona, watching the sunrise over the mountaintop. When you're in love, it doesn't take a lot, like you was going back to Lukenbach. When you're in love, it doesn't take a lot, like you was going back to Lukenbach. We're going back to Lukenbach.
UvaldeRadio.net. Good, happy Friday morning to you. I'm Robert Miguel, and man, some good music there by Mr. Randy Seymour. Lukenbach. Randy has got a brand new song, which we are debuting today, and this is really exciting. He's on the phone to talk about it. Welcome, Randy Seymour.
Hey, howdy ho, everyone.
Man,
Here this morning.
Thank you so much for checking in, Randy. I know you got a brand new song out now, but you know what? I know you've been doing this music thing for a very long time. You're kind of a household name in certain circles. You're pretty new to me, though, so I'm not going to try to insult you, but I want you to give me as much of your story as possible since this is officially our first on-air chat. But first of all, let's talk about Lukenbach. That's fresh on people's mind. We just played the song. Give us a background on that song, what it's inspired by, and the success you had on the radio with it.
Well, Lukenbach came along after I did a couple of shows in San Antonio back in 2015, and my wife was with me, and we had an afternoon off, and I said, hey, you want to go to Lukenbach, Texas? And she goes, is that a real place? I said, yeah, it's a real place. It's not just the song. So we went out there, and it was on a Thursday, and man, she had such a great time because, you know, Lukenbach's kind of its own zone, and she's kind of one of those folks that kind of gets it. So we had a great time, and so that kind of rolled around in my head, and one morning at the breakfast table, I started singing this thing to her, and she goes, hey, that song's about us. I said, yeah, it's about us. That's kind of how it got written, so.
You know, I think I saw a video recently on one of your social medias where you actually got to perform that song in Lukenbach. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I did. I got to do a show last year in Lukenbach, a big solo, me and everybody out there with the chickens and the cats and everything, and it was great. It was really it was I don't know, kind of a bucket list, surrealistic kind of a moment. It was great to sing Lukenbach at Lukenbach and have people enjoying the song Lukenbach. It just, how many times can I say the word Lukenbach?
Right. We're going to make a swear jar for you.
It'll be a drinking game out there.
Absolutely.
Every time he says Lukenbach, take a shot of tequila, folks.
Woo, all right. I mean, I'll be drunk by noon. It's great. Great way to start off my weekend. Again, we got Randy Seymour here on the phone, man. Randy, where are you checking in from? I know you're embarking on a radio tour to promote the new single. Where are you right now?
Well, right now I'm headed to Lindale, Texas this evening to a place called TXM, Texas Music City, bar and grill, barbecue, all kinds of stuff. It's a good music venue, great stage, a lot of great folks there. So I'm going to be playing that live on stage for them folks, and I'll be getting around. I'll be doing the Opry's this spring. I'll be down in Pasadena doing the Pasadena Opry. I'll be over in Brenham doing the Bluebonnet Opry, and there's a lot of stuff to kind of look forward to get this record out there and get people hearing it. Of course, I won't be going to Memphis to sing it, but I'd love to do that. Maybe I'll get invited to do that. Heck, who knows? Maybe somebody will go, you need to come up here to Graceland and sing this song. It's like, all right, you don't have to ask me twice. So anyway, but I'll be getting around the state of Texas like I did last year with Lukenbach. It'll be the same kind of thing. Same game, different song.
Now, the new single does not have the word Memphis in the title, but it's close enough. It is about Elvis, and we're going to get all into that thing here in a minute. But, Randy, go ahead and we got some new fans out there in the audience. I know, like I said, you've got a storied career. From what I understand, you started, like at the age of 15. Go ahead and give us the hot sheet, man. Give us the resume in your own words.
Well, I got started writing songs when my brother moved to college, and the songs I was writing were these country songs. I'd always been kind of a guitar-playing guy and just kind of fooled around with it. And then my folks really liked what I was doing, so my dad had a guy he went to high school with in Memphis, and they both played football together at Messick High School, and this guy's name was Arch Yancey. Arch was a big disc jockey in Houston for years and years, so Dad remembered him and called him up, and Arch was delighted to help me when I was 15 years old to try to start getting a record made and start doing this country music thing. And he had a show at Gilley's on Thursday nights, and he invited me out. So I got to sing at Gilley's every Thursday night in Pasadena, Texas for about a year or so.
Wow.
With Arch Yancey on stage. That was really a lot of fun. That was back in the days. That was before the Urban Cowboys. So Johnny Lee was basically a house band type singer back then. So it was really cool.
What a great way to start off the career, though, right? Why don't you go and take a moment and tell our audience a few of the greats that you've worked with and shared stage with? Well,
I've played with some of the classic guys on the Grand Ole Opry, people like Little Jimmy Dickens and Roy Acuff and Jimmy C. Newman and people like that. Then I've also done some stuff. I've knocked around the country, and I did a few shows after 9/11 up in New Jersey with a guy named Bruce Springsteen.
Wow, I never heard of him.
A guy named John Bon Jovi, and Joe Ely was on the show as well. I always have to give him a shout out because I love Joe Ely. It's been a really kind of like, it's been sort of a bucket list life that I've led, and a lot of this stuff I didn't really dream that I was going to get to do it. I got to sit down, write songs, and hang out and be friends with a guy named Carl Perkins who wrote and recorded a song called Blue Suede Shoes back in 1956. And
haven't heard of that either.
Yeah. Carl became a good friend later in life, so that was a good experience. That was about as good experience as playing at Gilley's, because I learned a lot from Carl. I learned a lot about what a real superstar how they really conduct themselves. They're very, people who are like really big in the business. They have a lot of class, and they actually have they have like real humility. It's not fake. I mean, they sit there, they look at themselves and they go, I can't believe how lucky I still am, and that's the way Carl was. Sweetheart of a guy, though. Loved him. I guess that's a thumbnail sketch of, people I've rubbed elbows with here and there. I've done open shows for Hank Williams Jr. and Vince Gill and Amy Grant and so forth and such. So it's been fun, and I've got to hang out with a lot of musical heroes, which I never thought I'd get to do, so it was great.
Now, speaking of musical heroes, your new song is about Elvis. We're going to get it on here because today is the day it premieres on radio across, the country and the world. But you, from what I understand, had a chance to perform with Elvis Presley's like members of his backing band. Is that true? Give me some info on that.
I did. It was when I did the shows with Bruce Springsteen after 9/11 up in New Jersey. They hired me to come in and do some stuff with some guys from Sun Records, a guy named Sonny Burgess, and we had the backing band was DJ Fontana, who was Elvis's original drummer, and then we had on the bass was Jerry Sheff, who was the guy who played bass for Elvis from the Las Vegas years on until they basically had a funeral for him. So yeah. A lot of Elvis's guys got to hang out with those guys, and they hired me to come up and do some Carl Perkins numbers because I was such good friends with Carl. They said, Randy, you got the spirit of this thing, so we want you to represent Carl's music. Carl had passed away in '98, so they really wanted me to come up. So it was a lot of fun. And hung out in Nashville. I did some stuff with a lot of other guys who played on Elvis's records. DJ was there again. Harold Bradley was there. A guy named David Briggs. All these guys played on Elvis's record sessions. A couple of the Jordanaires were there. They told stories. It was really intense as far as and a guy that I work with who's a record producer played bass on a lot of Elvis's records. His name is Norbert Putnam, and Norbert would be famous for producing Margaritaville and working with Jimmy Buffett.
Wow.
And he worked with a guy named Dan Fogelberg for many years and made his records as well. So like I said, for a guy who didn't have anything called a bucket list when he started out, I certainly have a lot of stuff that I've put in there that I never thought would be in there. So it's been great.
Fantastic to the opportunity just to work with so many legends and people who have made such an impact. And of course, it's really rubbed off on you, man, because your stuff is great. We may as well get into it because your new song is called Beore Elvis. Again, we're talking to Mr. Randy C. Moore. The brand new single does impact radio today, and we're so excited you took the time to give us a call and give us some information about it. So let's go and talk about it. Obviously, this song is about a guy who knew Elvis before Elvis was the king of rock and roll, and it sounds like this might be a personal story because you knew people that knew that guy, I'm sure, right? So give us a background on the song Beore Elvis.
This was my uncle's story that he told me. He moved to Memphis because my mom got a job there, and her parents were divorced, so she moved her mother and her little brother, who was going to be my Uncle Gene after I was born. So Uncle Gene was going to school, and he liked a girl who was going to another school, so he just quit going to his and started going to hers. And the school he went to that she was attending was the same school that Elvis Presley was going to. So Elvis was a couple of grades ahead of Uncle Gene, but he got to hang around and see him, and he got to know him a little bit, but he had no clue, like anybody else, what was coming down the road. So he told me one day about this story, and I said, how come I've never heard this before? He said, I was waiting for the right idea so we could make up a song. I said, well, you didn't have to wait that long. So he made up the idea about when Elvis, before Elvis was a king, he was just a high school teen. And I thought, well, that's brilliant. Just write me down what you got. So he wrote about 38 pages worth of stuff, Robert.
Wow.
So I kind of had to edit it down a little bit, but once we got it down, he was happy with it. We were rocking along with it, and then I got an opportunity to record it this past year. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get this thing out there because it's really a fun story. It's a fun song, and I'm a big Elvis fan anyway. I don't know if anybody else is out there or not, but I just thought the guy was just great. I mean, say what you want to about him, he invented a whole lot of stuff, and he owned a whole lot of stuff.
Now, I personally love this song. I love what you do with it. I love that it kind of is reminiscent of that old sound. You got your voice, your vocal delivery is fantastic. But I am an Elvis fan. I've been to Graceland during Elvis Week. So I can say I'm a little bit of a groupie to the King. Yeah. So this is really exciting for me. So we're going to play the heck out of it here on Uvalde Radio. So again, we're excited that you're telling us a little bit about it firsthand. But before we get into the song, I definitely want to give you an opportunity to talk about your catalog of music because I know, man, you got a lot of stuff. So if people are interested, where can they find you? Is your music available on streaming? You got some records out there, CDs. What's the best way to digest Randy C. Moore, the music?
Everything can be found at my website, www.randycmoore.com. That's the best way to go. I'm on Facebook, Randy C. Moore, and Friends of Randy C. Moore. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. all those platforms, but the best way to get the records, download them, and it'll take you, the download section of their website will take you to iTunes, is my website, and you can see music videos. Actually, you can see the music. You'll be able to see the music video of this song.
Yeah. Now, I have seen a video preview. Why don't you go and talk about the background of, the shooting and I guess the preparation and production of the video?
Well, heck, we were over in Mason, Texas this summer, and they had this old movie theater downtown, and I looked at my wife and I said, you know what, we need to shoot some video here. She goes, what are you going to do? I said, put that darn Elvis thing on. Let me sing that. So we sang that a few times in front of that. And then we shot some more stuff here, actually around Lufkin. Lufkin has a really old-looking alleys and old-looking feel around it and everything. And then we did some crazy stuff with some green screen, and I flew some pictures in there of Uncle Gene so people could see what he looks like and everything. So it's a fun little video, and it was a lot of fun to make. So I hope people get a kick out of it, because I certainly did. I got a kick out of getting it done for sure. So, well,
fantastic! Cannot wait to get it on the air here in just a moment. I do want to say this: you mentioned doing some opera touring. We got a beautiful opera house here, right here in Uvalde. It's the second oldest functioning opera house in Texas. So maybe we want to get you out here on the show.
I'm the second oldest new Texas artist that's out there, so that'd be good.
Well, Randy, it is so cool, man, for you to check in and share this information with us. It's cool to get to know you. I'm a fan of your music already, and hopefully you can make it down here to Southwest Texas and get in Uvalde for a live show sometime soon. But best of luck on this brand new track. I know it's going to do great things for you. Again, that website is randycmoore.com, right?
Yes, sir, randycmoore.com. And I want to just shout out a big thank you to you, Robert. Man, you're a hero. You don't think you are, but you're a hero down there. You have done so much for a place that got hurt really, really bad. Thank you for that. Thank you for being a good soul. I know your mama's probably proud of you, or somebody's looking down on you going, yeah, we did something right there. So
Mama's gotta love me. That's the rule. Well, man, Randy, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and let's get it on. But without any further ado, this is Randy C. Moore. It's premiering right here on Uvalde Radio. It's called Beore Elvis, and this is UvaldeRadio.net. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you all a story about my Uncle Gene. See, Uncle Gene was just 16 in 1953. He was a junior at Humes High School in Memphis, Tennessee, when he met this kid in English class who changed all history. So come on, my friends, I'll take you back again in my rock and roll time machine. It was Friday night in Memphis, 1953. I was bumming smokes and spiking cokes, bopping at the teen canteen. He came strolling in the front door, wearing pink on black, with hair shined up and slickered out like a brand new Cadillac. His mama named him Elvis, and he was a shy and skinny cat. He was gonna be the king someday, but he hadn't done it yet. Before Elvis was the king, he was just a high school teen. Before that's alright, go, cat, go. He was just a kid in funny looking clothes. You wouldn't have believed it if you could have seen before Elvis was the king. Look out now, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more. Here we go. We'd always call him Sissy Boy, but the girls are fascinated by the way he raised his upper lip. Somehow it drove her crazy. He had an old beat-up 6-string guitar with a rocking little sound. And when he played a high school talent show, he tore the whole house down. Nobody ever saw it come, least of all was me, till I saw him shaking right of the world on national TV. Before Elvis was the king, he was just a high school teen. Before he ever made his story, it was metal shop, math, and chemistry. You wouldn't have believed it if you could have seen before Elvis was the king. Now rock it, little before Elvis was the king. He was just a high school teen. Before Hollywood, Las Vegas, and the world, it was driving shows, backseats, and trying to kiss a girl. Now you wouldn't have believed it if you could have seen before Elvis was the king. No, you wouldn't have believed it if you could have seen before Elvis was the king. That's just how Uncle Gene told it to me, and that's all right.